All right, I am just pulling up to a friend's place. I am going to fill in today as a guest host for Pinball Shenanigans. The current host is unable to fulfill his duties, and as Miss Pinball Shenanigans runner-up, I am filling in. So today we are going to be touring the collection of a Mike Dimas. Sorry Mike couldn't be here for this, but Mike can. Let's see if he's home. Housekeeping. There he is.
What are you doing here? Holy, that's loud.
Oh, get a muffler.
Would you get my address off one of my videos or something?
Never a dull moment. I am the host today, filling in for Mike Dimas of Pinball Shenanigans.
Well, what do you know?
And we're here to do a tour of your collection.
Cool, man. Well,
what have you got?
come on in. I'll show you around.
Nothing in the living room for a change?
Actually, surprisingly not. There usually is something in the living room, but not today.
Mike, as you may know, is the host of Pinball Shenanigans, and he's toured a lot of people's collections. And I thought it was time to turn the tables.
Yeah, you're reversing the roles today, and you're taking me on a tour of my own collection.
This is the pit.
There it is. Welcome. Now, I've done a video or two in the past of my collection, but it's been a while. Oh,
let's do a little tour. Let's turn these bad boys on.
Turn on pinball number 1. No, that only works at Davisville's place.
And even then, only intermittently.
Yeah.
It seems like saying it 9 times is more work than turning on the games.
Yeah, right. Okay. There we go. Rob's helping out, yeah.
I know where the buttons
I haven't
are.
had all my machines on at one time in a long time.
Really?
So.
I turn mine on all the time just because I like the lighting.
Really? The ambiance is great. I love it.
Yeah.
But I never do it. Only when there was Pinball League and tournaments and stuff. So it's nice to see everything on.
Let's do a tour. Let's start at the end here. What have we got?
All right. This is my Skateball 1980. I had this machine a couple of years ago and then sold it to Albert Agar. Shout out. Check out Pinball Nerds.
Nice stash.
And then he sold it to Matt McGuffin. Shout out. And then me and Matt traded it, did a little trade ski deal, and ended up back with this. So now I've reaped it, and now it's working all happy
It's
again.
beautiful. I love the pops. Have little skaters on them too.
Yeah, little skateboarder dudes. All new plastics and nice playfield. Cool art for 1980. You know, I like it. I like it a lot. Yeah, so put in a new CPU the other day, and she's playing good.
This wasn't here last time I was here.
It probably was, but
this wasn't set up.
Was not really functional because this machine, being a Capcom, has been a bit of a challenge to restore. And I just did the last thing, hopefully, last night, reflowed the opto boards on the flipper mech. So hopefully no more issues, and this is fully playable. This is the dimmest machine in the collection. It's the only one that's incandescent because Capcom used a really cool like fading effect with all the illumination. Every single light bulb fades on and off. There's no like general illumination versus regular like insert lighting. It's all does the same cool effects, and you kind of lose that if you LED it, unless you get an OCD LED board. But blah blah blah.
LEDs are overrated.
Yeah. So this is
my 2
a little bit of dark of a machine compared to the others, but I didn't want to lose the awesome lighting effect.
Yeah, that's very cool. Tell us a little about Capcom.
Capcom, they got into the game a little bit late, because this is, I believe, 1997, just as, you know, the pinball industry was basically crashing, so that's why Capcom, their machines are rare for the most part, and they didn't make a lot of them. They only made 1,200 of these. Like, it's a pretty rare D&D game. So, yeah, Capcom started late, and ended shortly thereafter. So that's why like the Big Bang Bar is so rare, and the Kingpin they only made like 10 of those.
As we know, rare doesn't always equate to valuable in pinball. Are Capcom games valuable?
Depends on which one, but you know, like there's a game called Flipper Football, which is a really weird one done by Python Angelo, and you don't see it come up, but I think it doesn't sell for much, like maybe $3 grand. I think a Pinball Magic is probably in the maybe $6 or $7 grand range.
Yeah,
maybe,
so good
maybe
value.
More these days.
Python's favorite design of mine, of course, is Bad Cats.
Oh yeah,
It's a horrible game to play.
Yeah.
I had one. Everyone I bought it and sold it hated it, but loved the design. Loved the design all day long.
Python was awesome with his art. So
That's
never go wrong with the Python art.
This is very cool to have in a collection.
Yeah, and that's why I've struggled so long. It's 1995.
I love the purple.
To really restore this top to bottom, inside and out. Yeah, purple powder coat.
Yeah, the purple powder coat on the legs. It's hard to see in the video, but this is really a stunner.
Right. So, yeah, TX sector.
Less of a stunner for a back glass.
Yeah.
For Translate.
Who did this art? Because whoever this is should be fired or hired for like some modern designs.
It's almost like it got affected by radiation after they finished it.
I know, it's like, is this back glass fading or is that supposed to be? It's actually what it is supposed to look like.
Someone approved this and said, I like it.
It's yeah, right. I know the Gottlieb. All right, just put whatever up there.
I wonder what their house looks like.
Cult classic though. Everybody.
Beautiful shape.
It's got the best music and sound package. And yeah,
it's a fun game, isn't it? Yeah, I know.
It is fun. It is fun, and it is for sale. I've had this machine for like 5 years or something. So I've had my TX fix, and
it's been on your not for sale game.
Yeah, but
list.
Once the new fun stuff starts building up in the storage unit, I need to act something, and it gets tougher and tougher. So
that's how I got your beloved Trident.
Yeah, Trident. One day I will get Trident again. Okay, so then we got Monopoly.
Here's an Addams Family, also called Monopoly.
Addams Family 2.0, probably better than Addams Family, but I can't say for sure because I've never really thoroughly played Addams Family. Just your casual here and there.
It's funny, I call this it's ironic because it's about money, but it's the poor man's Addams Family.
Yeah, right, totally.
Because the layout is so similar, and people don't believe you until you walk them through it, which I won't bore you with.
Super underrated game and undervalued game. If you get a chance to buy Monopoly, do it. It's actually a really awesome game, and I've had it for a long time, and the thoughts of selling it are hard, but maybe one day.
Kyle Pern and I used to do machine swaps.
Yeah.
We just traded games of roughly equal value for 3 months at a time just to liven things up, and he lent me my Monopoly. Yeah. I forget what I gave him in return, what I thought was a much better game. But I really enjoyed the Monopoly in turn. Like I gave him a Fishtails or something like that.
Right.
Which, but turns out Monopoly was a whole lot of fun.
And his Monopoly was owned by Ed Belfour, wasn't it?
I think you're right. That's good memory. Yeah.
And remember, David Still's video, he had one machine from the Leafs. Well, which one was it? I forget, but he had a pinball machine from one of the Toronto Maple Leafs as well.
I'm surprised I even know who Ed Belfour is.
Me too.
I have no interest in sports or hockey. But I do know that from the game. And here, I followed you. We talked about this when you were going to get it. This was a Dust of the Rings.
Yeah, the Dust of the Rings. This is the dustiest machine I've ever purchased in my life.
Ever.
And being only 15 years old, that says a lot because I've dealt with a lot of 40-year-old plus machines. So when you lose the glass and lock bar for 10 years, things get dusty.
How do you lose the glass and lock bar?
Well, actually,
people are crazy.
Lose the glass.
They took it off.
The glass was off for 10 years, but they lost the lock bar.
That's the same as lost, isn't it?
Basically. And
look at it now. May I squeeze in here? Tour. Mike does good work.
Oh, thank you,
Mike does good work. He really puts that extra added detail into things.
Well, I don't want to just look at it. I want to play it too. So I want it to look pretty and I want it to play perfectly. I just added a stabilization switch kit on the Plantier switch just so that the switch doesn't bend to the left or right when playing. I'm finicky like that.
Mike said to me once, he didn't do anything that anybody couldn't do. It just took a lot of patience. And I said to him, patience is a skill unto itself. And I know you've had an extreme amount of patience to get through some of these games. There was a Lethal Weapon 3 that took the limits of your patience, I remember.
Nut and bolt. But yeah, I guess I'd probably say I am more patient now after restoring a shit ton of machines than I was at the beginning. I was probably banging my head off the wall in the early days. I guess I have learned patience as a skill. What do you know? what pinball can teach you.
We've both done something. You mentioned it to me, and I do the same because I'm an excitable guy. I just get all excited and jump around like a moron, and I do. I'm like my friend's bulldog. Wah!
Yeah.
And I have to temper my movements when I'm around pinball machines and just tell myself, slow down. You don't move the ratchet. You can ratchet it off slowly. Take your time.
Totally. Yes.
And I have to tell myself, calm down, Rob.
And you've told me a couple times too.
Slow
I
down.
get excited too around
Even with
moving around the pinball machines or picking one up.
Even with a dolly, when I go flying through a door with an inch to spare on either side, slow down. You know?
Yeah, exactly. I kind of was cleaning up my room last night just to make it all nice, and I was bouncing around, and I like wedged my finger somehow into a machine, and now it's a little swollen. There's an example there.
If you just slowed down.
All right, so we're going on to the other side of the room there. We got fishtails. Oh, you got yourself a big one there, didn't you? Yeah, you've owned this game. So
I loved my fishtails. I sold a bunch of games when I moved recently, and the only one I kind of regret selling was fishtails.
Yeah, great game.
Yeah, fun
It's
game.
punishing, especially if you have the lightning flippers, but there's actually a lot more to this game than meets the eye.
There's only a few shots on it, and when you miss your shots, you're in deep trouble.
Yeah, you've got, nub. The ball can come backwards faster than it moves forward sometimes.
It's got the best video mode in all of pinball, if you ask me. As an ex-boater, getting to shoot jet skiers is really satisfying.
That's fun every time.
But you also get you extra ball.
Oh yeah, if you shoot
the rear boats.
Yeah, this is true.
It was Fishtails I lent to Kyle. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I remember Fishtails being at Kyle's. Shout out to Kyle Purd.
I'm going to do a quick stop here and look at what's up on the shelf here.
Yeah,
We've got...
There's some miscellaneous fun stuff up there.
Mike wins trophies now and again. It's not
mostly,
Sean Russell's, but it's good.
It's mostly local crap, Hey, speaking of Kyle Pern, he made this for me. Out of this is a glass that came from a slot machine, which I actually got from Dave Flitton. Shout out. I gave the glass to Kyle Pern, and he came up with this. Boom. Love it.
Very nice. That is a beautiful piece.
Mm-hmm.
Like me, you've got little airplanes hanging from the ceiling.
Yeah,
well,
right.
my ceilings are a little higher.
This is true. I cram stuff in every nook and
I like
cranny.
this. You've got all the different plastics.
This is a relatively new display of promo plastics. I love collecting the promo plastics, so...
over here we got pop bumper caps,
pop bumper rafter. I guess it would be called floor joist, not really a rafter, but yeah, that's the pop joist.
I always like the expression "packed to the rafters."
Yeah, right.
It's like, really, to the rafters.
Hey, here's a piece of history right here. This is from my old 1947 Humpty Dumpty.
That's the shooter apron.
Yeah, the shooter gauge thing.
Elvira's party punch.
She's in bed in a pot with a skeleton.
Oh yeah,
very nice. That's a game I sold. I sold it to a great home. She had a shrine to Elvira.
Right. Yeah, it went to a perfect home.
Yeah.
Funhouse. Funhouse. This is a kind of a staple of the collection. It's just such a classic piece of pinball history, Pat Lawler action, and again took it completely apart, put it back together again, including Rudy's head, which has got a lot of mechs to it because his mouth opens and closes, his eyelids open and close, his eyes move left, his eyes move right, they move up, they move down. No, his lids do. But a lot of mechanics in there. Pat Lawler really...
I could never decide if I love or hate this game because I can't stand Rudy.
Right?
Like,
oh, really?
He pisses me off.
But he is, I guess it's a love or hate relationship with Rudy. Rudy, you either love him or you don't.
I don't think you're supposed to love him. You can love the game and still hate Rudy.
Yeah, this is true.
You're feeling something. And a pinball machine that leaves you feeling nothing is the worst. If you hate a game, it's like you're going to go back to that game and you're going to figure out why you hate it and if you can do better at it.
Yeah, it evoked an emotion out of you.
Yeah, some kind of emotion.
Than nothingness. But yeah, Rudy, I like how he kind of eggs you on and curses at you.
He does. Corey Cook has been coming over with his kids, and his kid is hilarious. He hated my 1954 wood rail.
Right.
And it just next thing you know, you find him playing it.
Oh, yeah.
He's determined to beat it.
The Jockey Club?
Yeah, the Jockey Club, yeah. And then he got obsessed. I told him what a good score was on centigrade.
Okay.
Because he was getting like 50 and 60,000. And I'm like, yeah, that's all right. But he's always calling, I got this, I got that. I'm like, I don't care. I finally said to him, I don't care. Yeah. Tell me when you've got 130,000 and you've maxed out the thermometer. Then I'll care.
Nice.
Right. And so, yeah, he hated that game for a while, too. So I'm just thinking of that with hating Rudy. It can turn into a real love relationship.
Yeah, right. I think he ended up getting a really good score after, didn't he? I think
You did.
I saw you post something
That's
about
right. But I like Funhouse.
All right,
Yeah.
so Walking Dead.
Dead.
Actually, this also came from
Got
Kyle
my first
Kearns.
thumb.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, I bought this off Kyle and tore it apart, put it back together again as I do. I did some LEDs. I also did the color DMD. I've got a custom audio package in there from Cleveland. Shout out, you can find him on Pinside. And I've got a subwoofer, so this has got lots of bells and whistles, and it's a super fun game.
When I first met you, you didn't have any of the modern Sterns. And now you seem to have managed to trade your way up to quite a few.
Yeah, I know. This is like in 3 Sterns in a row right now.
That's right. We both had sort of mixed feelings on some of the new Sterns. And I think as they've aged, they've then fallen into disrepair and been more likely to end up in your hands or something you're interested in working
Right, yeah, exactly. I'm starting to, get a little more DMD, beat up DMDs here and there. So I still haven't owned an LCD machine yet.
Right.
But,
wait till they all break, and then you'll buy them.
Yeah,
because you were
once they
never
start
interested
breaking,
in buying a 1-year-old Stern in perfect shape. That was never what you wanted to spend your money on. Yeah.
Yeah, well, okay, I've spent the big bucks on, like Ghostbusters Ellie new in the box.
Yeah, it's
but,
beautiful.
I had my fun with it, but, I lost my shirt on it when I sold it.
Did you?
And I don't like losing my shirt too much. So, but yeah, so Pirates of the Caribbean. This was Ray's at one point, then it went to my buddy Brian's, and then back to me. And actually, this is back in the early days of Stern. I think this is 2007, where they were trying, and they put lots of stuff into machines.
Lots of stuff.
So there's lots of toys in this. You got the spinning Tortuga. You got the ship that rocks. It sinks. The sails go up. They go down. You got the
Wow.
treasure chest. The lid opens. There's the lights inside that spell heart. You got all kinds of ramps and wire forms. And this is when Stern tried harder because they needed to sell machines. Now they don't need to try too much, and they'll sell out of everything on day
Right.
one limited editions. So.
So
it was
what
a
year is
different
this?
time.
What year is this one?
I believe it's 2007.
Right. And they redid Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah, Jersey Jack did.
Jersey Jack did it. There you go.
Yeah. Now you can get yourself one of the collector's editions for only about 37,000 US.
I know, it's insane.
Yeah. So, this is probably the newest thing in the basement, other than Skateball.
I watched your whole video of you playing this the other day.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was good. You were distracted and you were talking, but you still ended up with this monstrous score. It looked like you weren't doing very well. And like, wait a second, that's a really big score. You should be pleased with yourself.
I think on ball 3, I was literally considering aborting that game entirely
Right.
and starting fresh. And I was like, I guess I'll just keep. And I'm like, album multi-ball's lit, and that was the turning point. I'm like, all right, I guess I'll play it out, and it ended up being a good game. But,
I sort of admire your lack of big ego in these things. Like, if I'm so egotistical that if I was to make a video, I wouldn't have me sucking in the video.
Right.
I'd be like, oh, I can't show people that. They'll think I'm terrible.
Yeah.
Right? But you're like, oh, I suck. I keep going. I suck. I keep going. But then you pull it all off like a true champ.
They're like a true shenanigander,
That's
right?
right. Then you know that the editing isn't just designed to make you look good. It's
right.
real.
I know. I can't be bothered. So I don't. People like the shenanigans. So I keep them rolling.
It's also more proof that all you need is one good ball. Don't quit.
Yeah,
right?
that's totally right.
Don't
Yeah.
count yourself out until
Exactly.
ball 3.
Okay, now we got Johnny Mnemonic. This is the game that has been in my collection the longest.
Wow.
Out of, so many machines. This is probably 7 years or something now. That's a long time for my collection. It is like extraordinarily
The
long.
longest.
That says a lot about this game. It is packed full of awesomeness. George Gomez game. There's so much to do on the game. If you're playing in a tournament, you're probably just going to go for the super spinner strategy. But there's so much more to this game. I bought this game from Dan Beeson. Shout out, so many years ago. Maybe if Beeson, you can tell me how long ago. Oh, AIDS is real. Protect yourself. I accidentally hit the flipper button. But
Your high scores are crazy.
You know what? They can get way up there. I've seen them. If you go for just the spinner millions, you can get it up to like 80 million, 100 million, like 20 million is kind of chump change actually compared. Okay, so anyway, that's Johnny. Love it.
There you go. See, right there. 21,169,761,000
21
and something.
I'm saying that is actually chump change compared to scores that people can get.
Chump change.
Yeah. So Night Moves.
This is cool.
This is a cool game.
Now, this is not the original back glass.
No,
I'm guessing.
That is a faux back glass.
Is that from a home use only Fireball?
Home Fireball. Not home use only.
Not home use only. Home
it
edition.
might have been a home use only home Fireball.
I argue with people online about them when they want $1,400 for them and stuff.
Yeah. So this I got off Aaron A. Troll, and I've had this about as long as Johnny Mnemonic.
Wow.
Because it fits in this space perfectly.
Yeah. Right, because of the ductwork.
There's ductwork right ahead. So there's no real, this is a perfect use for this space. So it stays here. And it's one of the best cocktail pins, I think.
It is. Let me qualify that comment. I am not the price police. I hate the price police. Ask whatever you want for a game. The market speaks.
Right.
But Fireball Classic and those other games, the Genko things, they verge on fraud because they're not really what people think they're getting.
Right.
And that's why I argue with people. It's not
like
actually
your Star Explorer and your like toy pinball machines. They're pinball-ish, but they're not really.
And they want $1,400 and $1,500. It's like, no, it's worth like 0 to 200.
Yeah. How much is my Pirates of the Caribbean from Walmart worth?
That's right. The box.
Free would be nice.
My cat would like the box.
Yeah, that's about it.
All right.
Oh,
next room.
and then I guess there's the other room.
There's another room.
So I often will have.
One thing, I want to stop here. This is where you count and put your name up for honor of how many times you've hit your head.
Yeah, that's the Headbangers Club.
Headbangers Club.
If you knock your head on that, you'll see that, Ray's on there, Kyle, Candace.
Now, here's the thing about Ray. Ray isn't that tall. So Ray's been drunk and jumping up and down while he's here because that doesn't, he cannot hit his head that
That's
many
the
times.
occasional game where he beats me. He jumps up.
He jumps up and down when he wins occasionally. It's the only explanation.
So I will have usually anywhere from 3 to 4 pinball machines set up in this room.
Right, I reckon this is usually Harlem Globetrotter. It was in the corner for a long time.
Used to be 4 machines.
Stars.
I did rearrange it to make it more feng shui for league and stuff. So now I can put 3 short games in this section. I cannot do the tall Williams game, so that's just storage for now.
What do you got there? Dracula?
And then Whitewater.
Whitewater.
So this is currently the black hole room where my project of black hole is never ending. But I'm getting sort of close. Once I'm done with the black hole-ness, then I will probably get back to setting up another machine or 2 in here and not have this as my repair room. Although it's been handy on the rotisserie to work on this machine. Like
chicken.
This. And then, I got a few play fields and more crap plastered pretty much everywhere you look.
Your black hole thing turned into a bit of a black hole, didn't it?
That's what I was kind of trying to say there.
You had like 17 of them or something. It just
like,
went on and on.
I mean, this is just a box of black hole plastics.
Black hole plastic.
I mean...
Isn't that a song by Soundgarden or something?
Black hole plastics, won't you come? Black hole bin full of black hole parts. What do you got today? I've got aprons. I've got drop target assemblies. I've got thingamajigs.
I've got all your black hole needs. Come on down to Mike's Black Hole Emporium.
There it is. Okay, so yeah.
Black hole, black hole, black hole. We need to
Get your black hole today. All right.
Whoa, Nelly.
That's
I looked up that game online the other day. Were you posting it, or someone had one for sale?
It was Luch, I believe. Shout out to Mike Luciani. He had a black. Everything's black hole now.
Everything's black hole. Toy boat.
Well, Nelly, and I guess he sold it. It was.
I'd never
it
heard
had
of
the
it.
crate too. I don't know. Instead of on legs, it was on like a big wooden melon crate, so it was kind of cool.
I'd never heard of it, and
really?
I was interested in it and did some reading on it.
Yeah.
And I loved how it's like 2-inch flippers and
Right.
catching the theme of a 1960s game with
That's
3
right.
score reels, but then it had all, of course, the high-tech stuff going on at the same
Yeah,
time.
totally modernized, super old EM, but bit of a dog of a game. And they made like the same machine they used to make Primus
Oh yeah.
and Pabst Can Crusher. So yeah.
Now it didn't get a lot of love. It got a mixed review, but I think a game like that as a collector is great. I mean, in a large collection,
in a big collection, for sure.
what a
And
cool thing. Not just another boring game.
Yeah, and Luch had a lot of machines at one point, so that was perfect for his collection.
Yeah, I'm not sure I'd want it as my only game, but
Yeah, not your only one.
when you have 20 games, it's like great.
Unless you own like a brewery and it's going to go in your brewery or something.
That's right.
Or well, that would be better for Pabst, but whatever.
That's one of the joys for us of having a large collection is that you can always add some ridiculous game to it, and it's not a disaster.
Exactly. Yes. You can experiment with whatever, and if you get bored of it, then out it goes. So that's basically it. Oh, yeah, so
That's the tour.
that's the tour. Thanks for
Pinballs.
stopping by.
Pinball stuff everywhere you look.
There's shenanigans everywhere. All right, well.
Over and out, Mike Dimas, the tour. And you will be back as host, when, continuing your duties.
I'll be a host of my own show sooner or later.
I will retire. I didn't do as badly as Dr. Oz on Jeopardy, but I didn't do as well as
We'll wait for the reviews.
Ken Jennings.
We'll wait for the reviews to come in, and we will see.
You bet. Take care.
Right.